good afternoon, good morning, good night. I don't know. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Keepin It Reel. It's Mason. Here with Jake. Say what's up, Jake.
What up?
Jordan, welcome back. It's been like a month since we've heard from you. How's life?
Hola. Thank you for having me back. I wanted to be spiffy for you guys. We
are
watched
looking spiffy.
Thanks, man. Hey.
I just realized we're like, Jake, are you wearing an Oregon sweatshirt
Oregon?
too?
Yeah.
No, man, this is a Oakland A's sweatshirt.
Oh, dude, you could just lied.
Yeah.
It's just green on camera. No one would have known.
We'd all been matching.
All right, rooted in Oakland, but fair enough.
Sorry to disappoint. I'll go change real quick.
All right, thank you.
Don't. I mean, you're the one who has dinner plans. Yeah, Jordan, what's up, man? How have you been?
Oh man, been good. What's it called?
How was your steak last night?
It was delicious.
Did you burn it?
Nah.
I've watched you cook chicken, and I'm concerned that you cook steak the same way.
I told you this every time you bring this up.
Do you eat your steak well done?
No, hell no. No, steak, I eat my
Just
steak
chicken?
medium rare. No, please. I don't understand people who like it like I met this person who's like, I want my steak like a hockey puck. I was like, what? I'm like, you're going to break your tooth.
Go eat a hockey puck then. Why are you eating steak?
I mean, if my filet mignon's the size of a hockey puck, I'm not going to complain. But like,
I think they mean the crispness of a hockey puck.
Like we've said, if it ain't mooing, I ain't chewing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm sorry if I offended any vegans out there. You're doing a great cause. I just can't do it.
Hey, I would be vegan if I had a personal chef that would cook food for me. So
that's true. I'm just a lazy cook, and I'm like, I can't just eat spinach all day long.
I just don't know how to. I'm
just
just not creative enough in the kitchen to replace the meat.
Replace the meat. Oh goodness. Well, you know what? We're talking about replacing meat. Might as well talk about love. This is our Valentine's Day special. We did.
That could have been the worst segue I've ever heard.
I can do a worse
Or
one.
it could have been the best.
No, don't. Let's just move on.
We did Crazy Stupid Love. Jake, start us off. What did you think?
I love this movie. I've seen this movie several times. I'm sure most of us have. It's just a good movie. It's funny. It's emotional. It's I think the story, the plot, the writing is phenomenal. It's just an all around good movie. It's fun to watch every single time too. It's not like watching it over and over ruins anything. It's just great.
Jordan, Crazy Stupid Love. What do you think after you stopped your washer?
Mason, do you remember? This is maybe one of the first movies you and I geeked out actually over together. Was Crazy Stupid Love.
That doesn't surprise me.
My freshman year in college. So this movie, I don't know. Like, I don't even know where to begin because this movie, I think love just has everything to do with it. All over. It's a love fest.
We started this, and we had like a list of movies that we wanted to do. And I think this was the first one where we all consensually agreed, we're doing this on Valentine's Day. And that was like, well, this has been the plan since like April when we first started practicing. We're doing Crazy Stupid Love on Valentine's Day. I think I've watched it 6 times since April. This is just my feel-good happy movie. Oh, I love this movie. It was just always on HBO. And then it was on Hulu, and then it went away from Hulu, and I literally bought it last night because I was like, I want to watch it again. So I watched it again.
Damn, so many times? Oh, you just streamed it all those other times.
Yeah. But it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's definitely my favorite rom-com of all time. I think it just has great performances. We watched Drive with one of our practice runs, and we all talked about how we wanted this version of Ryan Gosling in Drive, like his charisma and his like confidence that he portrays.
Oh, yeah.
And the crazy thing is, both those movies came out in 2011, and they couldn't be different performances.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I don't know how close together they were, but they were just completely different. This was right after Steve Carell leaves The Office. I think it's that summer. So this is like, oh, this he wanted to become a movie star, go focus on movies. Here's this one. We've had giant rom-coms with big casts like this left and right, and I only can think of two that are actually good, where the cast is just a massive cast and they're all a bunch of different storylines, and that is Love Actually, which only a couple of the storylines actually meet, and then this one, where every storyline meets together. And I thought that was really cool, and everyone's just coming into play. It's a great script. Dan Fogelman, who writes This Is Us and created This Is Us, wrote this movie. This was like his entry into the into the industry. I'm gonna geek out about this movie. This is like one of my favorite movies. It's just great.
I agree. I think that's a major strength of this movie is the like, you know, basically like three different plots that are all simultaneously going, and then they just clash in the most dramatic fashion at the end, and it makes the most amusing scene when everyone ends up in the same place and realizes who everyone is and all that. It's just I was like busting up out loud for like 5 straight minutes while that whole scene was going on. It's just perfect.
It's really hard to toe the line of being a funny movie and being a heartfelt movie.
Yeah.
And like having a lot of serious
They balance
emotions.
it perfectly.
Like there's like Ryan Gosling says a thing when he first meets Cal or Steve Carell, and he was like, I want to help you. And he's like, why? And he's like, you remind me of someone. And then later on, we have the whole story with his dad about how his dad's so sweet and soft and has no backbone. And I was literally last night related, like, oh my God, he's talking about his dad. Like, he sees Cal as his dad. Like, I always knew they had that father-son relationship. Like, he viewed him as an adult. He liked his opinion or like a father figure. But I didn't realize that was the reason he helped him, was because he didn't have his dad and he reminded him of his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, where the hell have I been? I've seen this movie 15 times, like easily. Like 15 times in the last 2 years. How the hell have I not remembered this?
Well, they do it very subtly. It's which is good, I think. I mean, they don't like. I mean, we talked about this with Transformers. They like shove the backstory down your throat, so you can't miss it. But this kind of more subtle approach is more interesting because, I mean, like you just said, you watched it 15 times and just caught that on the 15th watch. Like those like subtle backstory moments where you can kind of figure out where somebody's coming from are so much more interesting because they don't get boring the second time you watch it.
Yeah. And the cast is phenomenal. I don't think you could pick a better cast.
Yeah.
Like every one of these cast members has been nominated for multiple awards. They're all great. Down to the little girl, the daughter, is now in all the Kissing Booth movies, and she was the Hulu TV show where the mom tells her that she's sick. I think her name's Joey King.
Oh, she's in that?
Yeah, that's her. As an adult. Like, this is her first, like, little kid role or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, you have just a grade A cast that just makes this movie even better.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
So, hey, man, don't forget about Josh Groban, okay?
I mean, that's another. He plays such a weird, dorky douchebag. Like, that's a really hard role to do, is being a dorky douchebag.
Yeah,
and he does
don't
it
you hate
perfectly.
him? But didn't you, like, hate his character a lot? You're like, man, that guy, like, I just want to punch him.
Because he's a dorky douchebag. I looked at him and was like, you're a douchebag, but you're a dork, and I feel bad for you, and I don't like how this is going. Like, I hated him, and I was like, I also kind of feel bad for you. And it was really, he just was awkward and weird and thought he was hot shit. It was just, anyone else has anything else to say before we get into the categories?
Nah, I'm ready.
Jordan?
Let's go.
All right. Summaries of the movie brought to you by Leo B. Hart Elementary School. I don't really know how you summarize 3 plots that converge into one.
Yeah, it's tough.
But we'll start with Cal and Emily because it opens up with them. Steve Carell and Julianne Moore. They get a divorce, or Julianne Moore cheats on Steve Carell, tells him about it, wants a divorce. They're unhappy. Steve Carell is just down on his luck. He's getting drunk at a bar by himself, that's a really nice bar.
I
This
know.
movie
It's like a club
made-
bar kind of.
Looks like
Yeah,
a-
this
I
movie
wanna
made
go to
me
that
realize I miss
Yeah, seriously,
miss
it's a cool
going
bar.
to bars.
That's a good point too.
This movie just made me want to go see people at bars. I was like, God, COVID, fuck you. But yeah, we see Ryan Gosling. He's just picking up girls left and right, and him and Steve Carell bring up this friendship. One of the nights Steve Carell's not there, we are introduced to Emma Stone's character, Hannah, who Ryan Gosling hits on in like the most smooth douchebag way ever. And it's like totally not okay. I don't really know how to feel about it. Because like it's not a pickup line, but it is a pickup line. And I love that scene where she's like, did you really just use a pickup line? And he's like, no, this is a pickup line. And then I'm just going to tell you the facts. And it's like, this is kind of a pickup line still. And I was like, I love that. They have some instant chemistry. She's a lawyer trying to study for the bar exam. Then we are introduced to Robbie, Cal and Emily's kid, who has a crush on on his babysitter. Hijinks ensue. Find out Hannah is Cal and Emily's oldest daughter. Then the man, David Lindhagen, who Emily cheats on Cal with, comes up. They have this whole fight that is just the most ridiculous fight ever. Everything goes up, and then we have the typical rom-com ending where everyone confesses their love to one another and how much everyone cares and means to them, and then it's happy and joyful, and Mason tears up. That was the hardest summary I think we've had to do.
Yeah, that's it's tough to, like you said, summarize 3 simultaneous plots that aren't related, and then you realize at the end they are.
Yeah, and like Napoleon Dynamite was equally as hard, but I didn't like
That's because
Napoleon
there was
Dynamite.
basing no plot to that.
There's no plot in that movie. But yeah, let's go into the box of chocolates. Best line in the movie. We are probably going to sit on this category for a very long time because this movie
you got
is
a
just
long
full
list
of
here.
lines. I love all of them.
I tried to keep it to 1, but you did not.
So, like, I've decided that the best, when we like a movie a lot, like we like this movie, I'm not going to nitpick. I'm going to just go full fanboy and just talk about every great thing about it. And the nitpicks or stupid questions I have at the end normally are just going to make the movie better.
Yeah, this is a tough movie to nitpick.
Yeah, so like we don't need to sit on that category forever, but we do need to talk about the real emotional moments, which a lot of the quotes can go to the real emotional moments, and they just go back and forth.
That's true.
That.
Yeah.
But my first one is when Ryan Gosling tells Steve Carell to stop drinking out of the straws from the vodka cranberry because it looks like he's drinking out of a tiny schmeckle. And I first love that he says schmeckle for a dick. It's just great. It's just any nicknames for genitalia, I giggle because I'm 12.
Especially when they're creative like that. He never just straight up says dick or anything.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's funny, weird words that.
It's not offensive. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. You can say it in front of children. Like, it's just a great word, you know. And I'm just like, I laughed, and it's the reason I don't drink out of those straws. Is this movie?
I think it was Steve Carell's reaction that made that even funnier. He's like, "No, it doesn't," and then he goes to drink out of it and like doesn't want to anymore.
But yeah, this movie is the reason. If anyone ever runs into me at a bar and they watch me, because I'm very much a mixed drinks person, I never use those straws. I'm always using it as a stir, and then I bend it, and it's because of this movie.
I honestly didn't know that people actually drank through those little straws. I thought they were literally just for mixing. They're too small. You can't like actually drink through them.
I thought you drank through them because of this movie, because I saw Steve Carell doing it, but apparently you don't. Who knows?
I've never actually drank through those.
Jordan, do you drink through tiny?
Actually, one time
straws?
I did was when I had them in a coffee and it was way too hot to like drink, so I just used those little tiny schmeckle straws so that I was just getting a tiny bit of coffee so I didn't burn myself. That's about it.
No, I do the bend it and I keep it in there like you made. I do that, but I don't drink. I don't drink little schmeckles. It's not my thing.
Jake, what's one of your favorite lines of the movie?
So the line I wrote down for this box of chocolates, and it's not even necessarily the line, it's the reference. So it's when Cal's meeting up with Jacob at the mall for him to, show him how to hit on women. Jacob's eating a piece of pizza, and Cal walks up to him, and Jacob goes, "You're late." And Cal says, "Yeah, sorry." And he holds out his pizza to him, and he says, "Sbarro's?" And Cal says, "No, thanks, I'm good." So I actually, Lauren pointed this out to me because we were watching it together. I think that's supposed to be a reference to The Office, because Sbarro's I didn't write down exactly which episode it was, but...
Oh, I could tell you.
Oh, you know which episode it is?
Valentine's Day, Season 2. Michael goes to New York to give Jan a pitch.
Yeah. He goes to New York.
Everyone,
do you know what episode it is? What number?
It's episode 14 of Season 2, I think.
Oh, shit.
Jordan, look this up.
Somebody. Producer, check the fact. But yeah, he's in New York. He's walking down the street. That was right after he saw fake Tina Fey, or right before he saw fake Tina Fey.
Season 2, episode 14?
14, Valentine's Day.
All right, let's see.
It's the Valentine's Day episode because he thinks he sees Tina Fey, and then
Conan is like in the background while he's fiddling around with this fake Tina Fey. But yeah, he's in New York, and he goes, "When I come to New York, I love to get my favorite slice of New York pizza. There it is, right over there, Sbarro's." And he goes running across the street to go get his Sbarro's. But yeah, this is the same pizza that Michael Scott gets pumped about when he goes to New York.
I also sent you, after you sent me that after I went on the Google Doc.
Yeah,
I
you
read
found
that.
another one.
There's another hint to The Office. Emily Weaver, her desk plate says associate to the vice president instead of associate vice president. It's associate to the vice president. I have a really hard time believing that they did make two.
No, that has to be.
It has to be.
To the is not like nobody's title says like something to the something.
Yeah,
that's got to be an office reference for sure.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, since you pointed that out to me, I assume there might be more in there sprinkled throughout the movie that we missed, that maybe they're more subtle.
Probably. There's probably a bunch more.
So any listeners out there, if you spotted any other Office references, let us know. Hit us up on Instagram.
Episode 14 is The Carpet. Valentine's Day is episode 16.
Oh, so close.
I was very close. But yeah.
The Carpet's another good one.
Carpet's another great one. I love the hate crime.
And I think now that you mention that this was right after he left the Office, that makes sense that they would be making like subtle Office references in this one.
Yeah, because it's literally the summer that he left the Office. Because the Office ended in 2013. So this is season 8, 2011, 2012. Because this came out in the summer of 2011.
I almost wonder if that was... not even necessarily meant for the fans, but meant to just humor Steve Carell a little bit.
It's probably a little bit of both. It's probably humor Steve Carell, humor the fans. But yeah, Jordan, do you have a quote?
Yeah, I had this one part, kind of like a scene like Jake's, where Jacob goes, "Are you the billionaire owner of Apple Computers?"
I almost wrote that one.
No. And Jacob goes, "Oh, okay. In that case, you've got no right to wear New Balance sneakers ever." And this line hits home for me because my dad has worn New Balance sneakers my entire life, and therefore to me they are. And I don't know. It's just like an old man, old dad. People wear New Balances, and then of course Kawhi Leonard signs with New Balance, and it's like if there's gonna be a basketball player to sign with New Balance, it's gonna be Kawhi Leonard. Like it makes so
That's
much
exactly
sense.
what I thought listening to this line this time. I was like, Kawhi has a New Balance deal, and he fits this perfectly.
Yeah.
Also, we went to college. Do fraternity guys wear New Balances? Is this like because we went to college 2 years later? I don't remember any college guys wearing New Balances.
I don't think anyone under the age of 40 should be wearing New Balance. I mean, like, why?
Well,
are you wearing
Mason,
New
that
Balances?
might not be a fair comparison. We did go to the Nike campus, so.
It was Sperry's. Now, if they would have said that comment about Sperry's, I would have agreed. Because I may or may not have owned like 3 pairs of Sperry's.
Well, hey, maybe back in 2011, that was 5 years before we went to college. Maybe New Balances were more popular.
Maybe. Yeah.
don't think so.
Oh,
Probably
one of my
not,
best.
but
One of the next
just
best lines.
trying to help him.
One of the next best lines in the movies is when Cal like taps his drink. Now he has his confidence. He's ordering drinks a certain way, and Ryan Gosling's like, "Oh yeah, you ready to go meet women?" And he is like, "No, I'm not. You haven't taught me anything." He's like, "Have you ever seen The Karate Kid?" And then Cal like goes through everything, and then he goes, "Ah, you Miyagi'd me?" And then he honks his nose, and all I thought about, I watched Cobra Kai, because Cobra Kai is a great show. And I just laughed and was like, hey, I get that reference now. I've never seen Karate Kid.
You
I get
haven't?
that reference? No.
Oh
I
my
have not seen
God.
I saw Rocky, which is Karate Kid, but just in the boxing ring.
You should definitely watch Karate Kid. It's a good one.
Maybe we'll do it on here. Maybe we'll do Karate Kid, and then Cobra Kai. I'll make you guys all watch it, because I really feel wanting you to watch it.
All right, let's do it.
Do you guys have any other joke lines, or should I just keep going on my list of lines?
No, that was the one main one I wanted to point out.
We're totally gonna bang. And what Emma Stone says to Ryan Gosling. I just want people to say bang more often. Bang's just a great word. It's like that whole scene. She's like, "No, we are for sure gonna bang." I was like, "Yeah." No one says bang anymore.
And he goes, "Do people still say bang?"
Yeah, I do. That's a great one.
That whole scene was great.
My schwanz is in your face. If you're not uncomfortable, we have bigger problems. Just another great name for a penis. Just
He did have a lot,
That's
yeah.
it. yeah, and they're great. When Cal is making the miniature golf course in the backyard, and Robbie, his son, responds to his wife Emily and goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "Don't worry, Mom. Dad told me to take the youngest daughter, upstairs and turn on the TV up really loud if anything goes wrong." Thought that was hilarious. Best part is something does go wrong, just not what he was talking about.
Yeah, not even close.
And they go upstairs and turn the TV on. Hilarious. When he first is getting divorced and he's crying in his office, and then his boss comes over, asks him about it, and the boss is just so relieved he doesn't have cancer, and then goes, "Oh my God, thank God it's just a divorce. We thought it was cancer." And he goes, "No, it's just my marriage." And he goes, "Well, good for you, buddy." And he goes, "Now I get to go pick out furniture," which is just so depressing and sad. And then everyone starts cheering. "Guys, he's just getting a divorce." They're cheering for him as he's walking out.
I know,
Just so sad.
terrible.
It's awful. It's probably one of the funniest ones. That one, and then also every quote that Liz says, or Emma Stone's friend.
Mm-hmm.
That girl's out there in the world. Please come find me. Had a real connection with her. Yeah, she was just funny. She was just. I felt me in her, and that's this week's honorary.
That was a weird choice of words.
Very,
there, Mason.
very weird way to phrase it.
Try that
My
one
bad.
again.
The character Mason most associates himself with is friend Liz.
There
from
we go.
Casey
That's
Stupid
much
Love.
better. Much better.
Cheering you guys on for all your ridiculous endeavors that you take off to go do, and then being very honest with you about what's happening. That's something I would do.
I could see
I was
it.
there. Yeah. You could totally. I mean, she's a little vulgar, and I really like that because I'm a little vulgar when I'm comfortable with people.
We know that.
The audience doesn't.
As
know that.
evidenced by 10 seconds ago.
No, by
That
what
was
you
an
just
accident.
said.
That was an accident.
Yeah, leave that in.
Liz's quote: study the slight curve of his, and then it cuts her off, and then she's like, "Oh, is that too far?" That was a scene. I was like, "I'm Liz. Liz from Crazy Stupid Love. We're one and the same." Because I definitely made a joke like that, and I was like, "Ooh, is that too far? Did I offend you a little bit? My bad. My bad. I was trying to be a hype person." But yeah, the real moments, the emotional moments of the movie. Emily calls Cal just to hear his voice. I do not know if there is a better visual representation of love than this scene of like what true love is. She's having ice cream with her kids. She's just sad and uncomfortable and just wants her husband, ex-husband, whatever it is in this situation. I don't really know. It's kind of left ambiguous if they get back together or not. Just wants to hear his comforting voice. She has been with him since they were 17. He knows her better than anyone. And the fact that he just lost his way and got complacent with their marriage rather than being a terrible person, she didn't stop loving him. And I love that scene because neither of them are wrong in their reactions of everything that has gone down so far. And them being able to like still have like they care for each other. You can still see that. I just love that whole scene because she just wants to be comforted in a way that only people that you really care about can comfort you. And the scene's great. Jake, I think you wrote it down too, or we started talking about it the other day. I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I wrote that one down. I was going to, and I saw that you already did. But yeah, I agree. That is a great scene because it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, how it's just kind of like subtle. Like you don't really, it's not like a big, flashy show of, I love you, for like proclaiming your love for someone. It's like the kind of subtle, real feelings and kind of things that you would miss in that kind of a situation. So yeah, I agree. I think that's a great way to show that their kind of love for each other is still there. And I mean, you can totally tell that Cal is like feeling exactly the same way that she is as he kind of like watches her through the window have this conversation with him.
Yeah. I love that scene.
Yeah, me too. It's a good one.
This movie is just so full of actual moments where like it's believable that these characters, Emily and Cal actually have great chemistry together. If they didn't have chemistry, this whole scene would not work. And you believe that they're in love. You believe that they've known each other forever. And how he just like, we'll go with another scene here in a little bit, but he just wants to help her, and he's taking care of the yard, which is just like the most weird sign of I'm proud of this is ours thing, is taking care of a yard.
Yeah, I also kind of took that as like he wants to keep it nice for his wife and kids to enjoy a nice yard. Like he isn't like, I mean, obviously he's mad, but that's just another way that he shows that he like still loves her and obviously he still loves his kids, but still cares about them all and trying to be there to take care of his family, even though he's not there during the day.
Yeah. Jordan, what about you? What do you like about this scene?
So the yard thing I took like in many different aspects, like, cause the whole thing is about Cal like finding his manhood, right? And
I wouldn't say manhood.
Okay, you're right. Finding his.
I would say finding himself again.
Finding himself.
His life has been so involved with his kids.
Okay, gaining his confidence. I mean,
just finding his self-worth again, and like, this is why I know I've had a lot of family friends get divorced because of this exact reason, where your life becomes involved with your kids. Well, a lot of people, especially our age, don't realize that once we have kids, like 18 years, they're gone again, and then you're just back to just the two of you. And a lot of people have a really hard time balancing that, of giving enough time to your significant other while also giving yourself a proper amount of time to your kids. Mm-hmm. And I've known, like, what's been really cool is, since I've left for school, is watching my parents like I wouldn't say rekindle their marriage, because I never thought their marriage was bad, but I now understand why they fell in love with each other. As a kid, you never really think about it, but like their infatuation with each other, and they've been married 32 years, 33 years, dated 2 years before they got married, like they genuinely like each other. And he was just going through the motions rather than
Right.
actually putting effort. And that was the whole thing is he's wearing New Balances, baggy shirts, and a really crappy polo. He wasn't putting any effort in himself rather than, like, once he started putting effort in himself, it showed to other people he was putting effort into himself, into everything he was doing. Even if he was putting effort into certain things, he wasn't portraying it to anyone. And I felt like that's the reason, like, the beginning of the movie happened. His effort was not where it needed to be, and everyone felt that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So back to the yard. So I think that what Steve Carell was doing was basically, you see his kids, his family, they still live there, right? So he wants to take care of his yard. I mean, that's his. I mean, who knows how long they live there, right? But but I think that they really wanted to. You know, part of the whole thing is finding himself, and therefore when you find yourself, I think everyone finds themselves at different parts in their lives. And once you find yourself, you know, you actually care more about presentation because you realize how important that is, stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it was just part of the whole storyline. I thought it fit right in.
Top 5 all-time movie backyards.
It was a pretty nice backyard.
Yeah, it was huge. They're in L.A. County and somewhere down Southern California. That's a massive fucking backyard.
Yeah.
That house is worth like a couple mil easily. It's so nice. It's the whole thing I was thinking. This yard is huge.
It's big and well taken care of. He did a good job with his yard work back there.
Yeah, he did. All right, Jake. So your next line, your next emotional moment, and my next emotional moment are the same scene, just at different parts. So I'll let you take it away, and then we can go into it more.
Yeah. So you know, you already kind of brought up, you know, the whole ending where everybody confesses their love for each other and all that, but I think it might have actually been the last line in the movie, the last time that someone was actually speaking, was when Emily said to Cal, you know, he goes up in front of the middle school graduation and gives that whole spiel about, you know, like fighting for your true love and all that, and then talking about his first date with Emily, and taking her out for ice cream, and she comes up to him at the very end, the very, very, very end, and says, you know, I guess I just want to say, I'm so glad you bought me that ice cream. I think it just sums up, I guess, that whole scene and, you know, everything that they're all feeling and obviously portraying throughout the whole movie, those kind of feelings and love for each other throughout the whole movie. That, you know, even through all the shit that they've been through just within this movie, who knows what else happened before all this, that it's all worth it. It's all the love is what you get out of all that. It's great.
That whole end scene, which I guess could kind of go into a golden ticket moment, because, like, the end scene's great. It is the typical rom-com confession of love. Like, I'm just gonna sit here and spew out my heart. But the way they do it, it's realistic in this movie. Like, a lot of times it happens in movies. Like, take another one of my favorite rom-coms, Friends with Benefits. There's no way in hell Justin Timberlake is getting a flash mob together in the middle of Grand Central Station to tell someone that he loves them. Not real. This family, I believe, would do this ridiculous gesture because the kid is bombing an 8th grade graduation speech. And I believe the whole time he's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, he's saying all these, like, I mean, kind of depressing thoughts about basically resulting from the fact that his parents' marriage is falling apart right in front of him.
Yeah.
And, yeah, his dad is just like, nope, can't let him say all this in front of all these people. Because, I mean, first of all, you don't want your kid to believe all this, and especially in front of all these people. So you're right. I think it is a bit more believable. Obviously, it's still out there. It's still, like, kind of weird that this dude's, like, jumping in front of this 8th grade graduation to confess his love. But you're right. It's a more believable version.
with this kid's giant gestures the whole movie, and the dad's like, "What are you doing?" I feel like the kid had to learn these gestures from somewhere.
Yeah,
and I feel like
you're right.
I feel like this is their moment where like, oh, this is where the kid's learning it from.
Yeah, I mean that probably goes back to what you were saying earlier, how he wasn't putting the. I mean, obviously he was maybe putting effort into his kid's relationship, maybe not as much effort into his wife's relationship with him. That he probably was doing these grand things for her before, and kind of fell away from that.
Yeah, when you find the one you love, you never give up. I thought that was just a great scene.
Yeah.
Because there's like, sadly, you can tell when in actual marriages, when people fall out of love and there's a rough patch or whatever's going on, you can actually see it. And that's horrible and sad. But this movie, they never do that. It's more of just two people's in their mid to late 40s struggling to find out who they are, which is, I've always thought, like, watching movies as a kid, like, oh, in your 40s you'll know. But, like, growing up, I'm always realizing, like, oh, we have no idea what the hell we're doing, like, half the time. We're all figuring it out as we go along. And I love that this movie really goes into that, where you have these two people who are adults with 3 kids basically starting new, and the kids are coming to them with questions and answers that they same have. And all they can do is, like, go and be like, oh, you just got to go for love and all that. And I don't know. I like that part. I'm sappy.
Yeah, that is a good part. I think it's a good reminder. You gotta fight for love. You don't just fall in and out of love. You gotta put in the effort. You gotta fight for it. And it's worth it when you do.
Jordan, you got another moment?
Yeah, I got a few moments.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so I think the whole twist of Jessica having a crush on Cal instead of and even though Robbie had the crush on Jessica, that was good. That's always a good laugh to me. The whole pictures part, that's kind of weird. Like the idea.
So let's go to that scene.
That's so weird.
The picture scene. She goes up to the girl at school, and the girl at school goes, "Oh, I can date older guys because I have a nice rack." 1, you still look like you're 12. 2, you still look like you're 12. And 3, you still look like you're 12. I do not care how nice of a rack you have. If you look like you're 12, hopefully most men are discouraged by that and walk away. I can't say all men because people suck.
Just stop.
But that scene just made me so uncomfortable. And
yeah.
Oh, no,
so
it's not, yeah,
weird.
Because they were supposed to be our age. And, like, looking back at pictures at us at that age, I was like, there's... No.
Yeah, no.
I look like a baby.
I do actually wonder how old those actresses and actors were who were playing those high schoolers.
They were early 20s. I looked it up. They're all born,
Okay.
like... So this came out in 2011. They were all born, like, 89, 88... 90s, 91.
Okay, because I was going to say, that girl did not look like she was 15 or whatever.
No, but that's just a high schooler saying, oh, I date older men because I have a nice rack.
Right.
It's just, and like...
No, you're right.
23.
No, they would look like children.
So, like, I will give a 19-year-old dating a 17-year-old. I guess you can say that's an older man to a 19-year-old. I can give it... I'm not okay with it because it's a big age gap.
A what?
But a
19-year-old and a 17-year-old?
Yeah, like a high school kid and a college student. That's a massive age gap. If you meet those ages, maturity-wise, you're at very different points in your life.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, like, that part, like, I guess it's okay. Like, 2 years, you can figure it out. A lot of growing happens in those 2 years. But the fact that she thinks that she can convince a 44-year-old man
I know, it's absurd.
to not look at this girl that we can assume he watched grow up with.
Yeah, and not even some, like, creeper 44-year-old. Like,
Yeah.
a family friend who has his own kids, who he's...
How many times she's flirting with him and he's just oblivious to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just laughing. I was like, what?
How do you see this going?
Where do you see this going? Like, what the hell? And then we can go back to just bad flirting, because this is it's a real moment because I felt it, but like at the same time it's just funny. It's just Robbie hitting on this girl so uncontrollably, and she was like, hey, stop, you're making me uncomfortable. Hopefully I've never hit on someone so much that made him uncomfortable, but like him just beating a dead horse and just throwing up 3 after 3 after 3 and just bricking all of them. I was like, dude, take a hint. But like, I love the confidence. Like, this is like Kobe if he had Dion, not even Dion Waiters like confidence, because Kobe's confidence was. Who's the worst shooter in the NBA?
The worst?
Yeah,
Shaq. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like Shaq pulling up with Kobe's confidence. Like, I can pull up from 30 feet out, and I'm going to just make this 3. And that's what it's just going to go with. And he's just sending all these shots. I was like, dude, my God.
Right?
Yeah. Go, Jordan. What's another one?
All right. So another one for me was when Robbie had his talk with Kevin Bacon. And he sat down Kevin Bacon, and he basically took the hammer and sledged it down and was like, step down, motherfucker. You're not ruining this marriage. And Kevin Bacon was like, oh, fuck, did that just happen? And then he still tried to ruin the marriage, but we'll get there here momentarily. But seriously, though, like, Robbie, that was hilarious to me. And then with the picture, I mean, he was prepared. That was methodical. That was planned. Even though Robbie might be a little, like, have some problems like we just talked about, but he also has some great assets, and there we go.
This scene is also a great one just because it also comes up when I'm not gonna stop sending Jessica uncomfortable text messages. Is how he ends this epic talk to David Lynn. I'm putting you in my place. But by the way, my dad's gonna win her over, and I'm gonna win this girl over by just sending her text messages of how much I love her constantly. And I laughed out loud. I was like, oh my God, this is the most 13-year-old thing ever. And I love it. And the fact that he kept pronouncing Lindhagen wrong, says Lindhagen, and then the guy's like, Hagen, whatever. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, he definitely had control of that situation.
Great scene. And like, if you would have came out of this movie in 2011, you're like, this kid's becoming a star. Don't think he's done anything after this. I think this is kind of his one movie, and this is all of it.
No, he did. Did you guys ever see Zathurtha? What was it called? Like Zathurtha? Oh man, it was like Jumanji.
The space board movie.
Yeah, so it was like it was Jumanji, but in space. And Zathura. So he was in that, and then I was looking at some other stuff, and nothing else I ever really seen before. But he was in that, so I was like, oh, dope.
He's also at that weird age because he's like 15 probably in this movie. He's not old enough. He's too old to be a kid, but he's too young to be a teenager. So he's sitting in that weird spot where, like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with my acting career right now. So maybe he'll come back and do something. It's been 10 years. He might be in his 20s now. Who knows?
Should be.
No, that's a
the math would suggest.
All right. Hey, Jake. What travels faster, gravity or the speed of light? Because that is the conversation we had before we got
Sound is definitely the fastest.
But yeah, no, that scene's great. Also, well, we'll just move into the golden ticket moments. What brings you back to this movie? Going off the David Lindhagen scene, the parents' relationships with their kids was great. I loved it. It was realistic to a certain extent, because if I called my teacher I just said asshole in class the whole time, my mom would probably got really upset with me. But like,
I was thinking the same thing, but at the same time, I'd imagine going through her head is he's, kind of lashing out because his parents are going through a divorce. So
yeah, and she's just like,
I'm sure that was part of it.
That scene when he hears her crying, and he was like, yeah, I heard you crying, and talking about how Dad's upset, but you can tell he's trying. And then they make a joke. So he's like, I Googled mom's crying in bedroom. And she was like, oh my God, what comes up? And he goes, a lot of weird videos. And then her just looking and like laughing is like, oh my God, do those parental guys works? And he's like, they do for me. And I just giggled at that. I was like, that's just, you can tell they get along. I love that the kids don't hate their parents that this is going on. I love that the parents aren't putting it back on the kids that they're having a divorce. It's just, you could tell they had a strong family to begin with, and that this situation is just a shitty situation. And everyone's trying to do the best of it. They all care about each other. They're all trying to do what's best for each parent because they know neither of them is technically wrong in this situation. They both are at their own faults. And I love that the kids even realize that, and they're trying to help both parents. And that's just a nice sign of a very serious scene, and they can still joke and have fun with each other.
Yeah, I agree. They did do a good job at kind of layering in those different complexities of the situation and the relationships in there.
Do you have a golden ticket moment, Jordan? Another thing that brings you back?
You know what? I really liked... So, like, the whole final scene, right? The final scene is just phenomenal. But, like, one part of it, too... Obviously, the fight part was great, but, like, when Cal and Jacob are talking, like, and Cal's just like, my daughter? Like, when he finally realized that that's who Jacob has been spending his time with, that was just hilarious. Because, like, obviously, you know that, like, during that whole time that Jacob is training Cal, getting Cal ready to, you know, be who he ends up being the player or whatever, like, you know, Cal's like, I hope my daughter never sees this man. Like that's not the kind of man that a dad wants their daughter to end up being with, especially when Jacob is, like, trying to get Cal to just sleep with as many women as he wants, right? So that part is just absolutely hilarious. Like, how, like, oh my god, like, no, like, it can't be her. That scene to me is just so funny. It's great for all the parties.
It's awesome too, because we just had the scene before where Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are just sitting in the house together, and Ryan Gosling is literally doing everything Cal was doing throughout the beginning of the movie. Everything he told him not to do, he was actually the one that was getting Miyagi'd and redid it for his daughter. And it's so weird because, like, the dad literally picked a guy. He liked him. He found something charming about him. He's like, he's a good guy. Literally picked the guy for his daughter without knowing he picked the guy for his daughter. He, like, molded the dude. Jake, I did the same thing for Lauren with you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I molded you.
Molded me.
That was for you, Lauren. I know you're listening. Enjoy. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, I like that scene when Emma Stone went home with him, because I thought it was kind of funny how, when was it earlier that, shoot, I can't remember exactly where it came out, but it was something along the lines of, I think Emma Stone said it to Ryan Gosling, like, is this what you usually do? You get him to drink too much, and then, or the PG-13 version of what happens tonight. I drink too much, and then I pass out on the couch, and then you tuck me in and kiss me on the cheek and go goodnight. But this is the rated R version of the night. But that's what ended up happening, but in the reverse order. He drank too much, spilled his feelings about his family and all this, and shared some laughs, and then he passed out in bed, and she tucked him in and kissed him on the cheek, and then they went to bed. I enjoyed that kind of reverse parallel from what she brought up before. And
the best part was it is the PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
So, like, they can't show anything.
Yeah, you know
serious.
It has to be the PG-13 version.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a great scene. That's, like, one of my all-time favorite scenes of this movie is them just generally connecting.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll go into my big golden ticket moment, the reason I come back to the movie. Love. We are seeing it at every stage. We see it at young love, where it's just creepy and weird and uncomfortable. Then we have it at the new love, where they just want to spend all the time together. They're doing stupid dinosaur sounds, picking out wine. They're just talking, getting to know each other, doing everything. And then the love that has been through the absolute ringer, like everything possible that could go wrong has gone wrong in this marriage, and like you're still seeing them battle for each other. Just love that. I think the three phases of it, I never realized it until we had to do this. Like, I probably did, but never really put in deep thought. but seeing each level of what each part would go to, and then Cal and Emily basically have been at every one of those parts in their marriage, and he remembers all those things and he brings them up at the end. Like the end scene is great.
Yeah.
Just I love that he talks about all those things again, about all the great little moments that he remembers. So, like, I love that. Jordan, do you have another one?
I mean, the teacher conference with Peter Parker's
Aunt May.
Yep. My cousin Vinny's girlfriend. Now that Melissa Tomei, she's a goat. That scene's hilarious. Just like I don't know why, but I can't believe that Cal's ex-wife really sat there. I thought she took it pretty well. Like if I was in her, I don't think I would take that situation as well as she did. If if there's some crazy reversal of life, but yeah, I mean that scene's just hilarious. Like, don't even know.
I thought she handled that situation horribly. I was like, this is the most unrealistic part of this movie. No teacher is losing their
No, he's saying Emily, not the teacher.
Oh. I thought
Emily handled it well. No, the
Julia
teacher
Jordan.
lost her fucking mind.
Julianne Moore. I'm sorry, Julianne Moore. No, not the teacher. No. Yeah, and she just sat there and watched the teacher just be asshole.
Yeah, no, the teacher. Yeah, during that scene, Lauren was like, "This lady is at work. What is she doing?"
I think the best part is he leans over. She's an alcoholic. And I was just like,
and she just loses it.
Like, oh my god! Like, great. Why was that the first thing you went to? Is calling the lady an alcoholic.
And then they get into that discussion in the parking lot, and the teacher's 5 feet away from them, just watching them have this super serious conversation.
That's a heartbreaking scene.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I've had sex with 9 women, and then his reaction, oh my god,
shit, 9 women, oh my god.
So, that's we're supposed to assume this is in a 3-month span. It's a year long.
Right.
It's supposed to take place over a year,
it's
right?
It's not in a week, no.
Yeah. That's a great one. Ryan Gosling's introduction to this movie, top 5 introduction to a main character of all time. Good. It's great. It's that one. Him saying, "Oh, you've been drinking? Want to take my car? I'll drive." Gets me every time. I laugh at that. I was like, that's just... Why can't you be like this in every movie, Ryan Gosling? Your confidence, you're just...
Yeah, his charisma is through the roof.
It's just... He's so good. I don't get... he doesn't do this a lot, which is kind of surprising, but, his charisma is just... He's the winner of this movie if we would pick a winner. He's the reason... I think everyone's great. His performance just blows this movie out of the water. He is so good.
I agree. He should do this kind of role more often because it's fun to watch.
He kind of does it in La La Land
kind of character too.
Yeah,
that too. Yeah.
Also, those two have great chemistry.
They do. They really do.
This is the movie that showed that they had great
too. Yeah.
That they had great chemistry. Is the reason La La Land they both did it together is because people watched this and Gangster Squad. Which Gangster Squad is terrible,
horrible.
But they're great. They're great.
I've never heard of that movie.
Oh, don't waste your time.
Because it's terrible.
It got pulled out of theaters because there was this whole gun stuff during theaters back when there were shootings in movie theaters. So, anyways, don't waste your time. That's Gangster Squad.
But his introduction and just his character and his overconfidence, it's just ridiculous. When he is Steve Carell is about to come out with his big oh, look at my wardrobe change, and he hits on the barber and goes, "Oh, I know what you're doing tonight," and she's like, "Oh, really?" And Steve Carell, "Really, that worked?" All of them are yeah. It works. This dude is just he's so confident in everything he's doing. It just spews yeah, no, I buy it. I'm buying all of this. I was I hate it, but I buy it.
Yeah, it's entertaining to watch for sure.
Yeah. Another golden ticket moment. I wrote this down, Jordan. You rewrote it. Robbie talks to Lane Hagen.
Oh, just my bad.
We won't go. We just had to bring it up again, but because it's great. Jake, do you have another golden ticket moment? What brings you back?
I mean, I kind of talked about this at the beginning, but I think my golden ticket would be just kind of that whole scene where the three separate storylines collide into one catastrophic event. Just because I think the writing of this like three separate plots, how they can intertwine them but make it not at all obvious to the viewer that they're intertwined the whole time, to the point where you're almost like caught off guard that all these people are like so closely related to each other. It's so impressive to me.
They have a couple, and this was one of my questions.
Yeah, they have a couple, and if you're looking for them, you can notice them. But for a first-time viewer who's never seen this, there's no way you're going to pick up on those things.
Yeah, that's what one of my questions was. Did you guys, rewatching it, did you pick up on anything? Because, like, we introduced to Hannah, and then it goes to Steve Carell driving the babysitter home. And he goes, oh, I got to call Nana. I was like, oh, Nana, Hannah. That kind of makes sense. And then when they're at the El Trito Grill and they have the Hannah banana thing, and I was like, oh, they are literally trying to give you every hint.
Yeah, I don't think I really put those together. Like, I obviously knew, having this be my like fifth time watching it or something, that Emma Stone was their daughter. But every time they say Nana, I just start thinking that that's like a name for one of the kids' grandmas. Like, they're talking to one of their parents, talking about one of their parents.
No, without a doubt. The entire time.
I never thought that was like their daughter that just hasn't been around during the scenes that happen in this movie.
Especially like the kids' ages, like
yeah, exactly.
Kids so much younger, like you just
like those little kids would call their grandma Nana. Like that's what was going through my head.
But would your parents call them Nana? If your kids aren't in the car, I'd be like, oh, I gotta call my mom.
Probably not. But from a kid's perspective, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a little kid, my parents would always refer to my grandparents as like Mimi and Papa and Grandma and Grandpa. Like, they didn't call them their names. So I think from like, I mean, obviously I'm not a little kid, but coming more from that perspective.
Well, I think remember, the nickname came from the little daughter, the youngest daughter, not being able to say her name, right? So
no, the oldest daughter.
No, it was Hannah who wasn't able to say her own name when she was
Hannah
a little
couldn't say
kid.
her name. So, little kids have trouble saying names, and then nicknames are created from that all the time. I mean, it actually definitely something like with my family, because but I thought that they did a great job, and the only way that you know that, in my opinion, is if you watch the movie.
I agree. Pick up on that? It's like so subtle that there's no way a first-time viewer would pick up on that.
Or if you have a grandmother, I feel like you would just kind of assume, because like, I mean, personally, like, we never called my grandparents anything else like grandma and grandpa. So, but just kind of living in America, I guess, I think that's what people call their grandparents. So, Nana and Papa, or whatever.
I thought nothing of it the first time I watched it. I thought nothing of it the 14th time I watched it. But the 15th and 16th time I watched it for the podcast, I was like, oh, they're trying to give it to you.
Yeah, they're trying, but they do such a good job at making it so subtle that it's still a shock when all these plots run into each other. And I think it's so perfect. It's so well written to make it that subtle.
Yeah, I think it's great. Another scene that I like is Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell talking in the bar about his daughter. After the whole blowout
after
happens.
the fact.
Yeah, I like that. This is the time when I rewatched it, it's like, oh, he's going to him for dad advice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is what he meant. Like, this is it. Like, this is why he talks. We first knowledge of his dad. Then he's scared. He doesn't know what to do. And the only person he knows who's been in love and actually feels this way is Cal. And he's going to him for help about his own daughter. And I was like, this is a really heartfelt scene.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder this guy wrote This Is Us and rips out everyone's heartstrings once a week.
Every single week.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like you got me. This is really good. Anyone else? Any more golden ticket moments?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe just like the perfect combo of emotional and funny. They just do such a good job at intertwining those two.
Like, where's perfect amount of sexy and cute?
Yeah, just like that.
All right. If we're gonna be stupid, let's be smart about it. Got just a couple thoughts that came up to my head while watching this.
Oh,
Robbie's breakdown of the Scarlet Letter is a better representation than the actual book. Do we disagree? Because we all read it.
I actually didn't read that book.
what?
You didn't read the Scarlet Letter?
No.
Shame.
Oh, you didn't miss anything. It was a bunch of assholes who fell in love like assholes and then died like assholes.
Sounds about right.
I always thought that was funny
Emily-
because Emma Stone was in Scarlet A. Just throwing it out there. Sorry.
Easy A.
Easy A,
I think
yeah.
they came out the year before this, which is actually kind of funny. Yeah. Emily talking about how bad the Twilight movies were. I saw New Moon
Oh,
3
it's
times
so
in
funny.
theaters.
It was so bad.
Totally related to that. It was just like, yeah. Bernie is a terrible friend.
Horrible.
Just throwing that out there.
Horrible.
Bernie.
friend.
Who is Bernie again?
Jessica's dad. That gives him cologne
Oh,
at the
yeah.
bar.
I thought that was so
he sucked.
weird.
He sucked. That was
Yeah.
and like,
I agree with you.
but I will say he has one of the best lines in the best scenes in the movie where he starts spelling out sex in front of the kids. And they're like, "Hey, Bernie, they can spell."
I don't like all this sex talk in front of the KIDS.
First off, they can
They're in
spell.
high school.
Kids are like 15 years old. This is great. Steve Carell uses the word cuckold.
He did.
What word would you like to use more often that you're just like, this is a great word? Because cuckold's up there. If I knew what cuckold meant, I would use it more often.
What does it mean, Mason?
I said if I knew what it meant. I don't know what it means, hence why I don't use it.
Well, I don't know the meaning, but based on the context, I assumed it was like a divorcee is the same.
What? Rue? I love when the word rue, they'll rue the day. I just think that's a great word.
That is a good word.
What's it?
All right. So I looked up the definition.
Okay, tell us what the definition of cuckold.
A man whose wife is sexually unfaithful, often regarded
Yeah.
as an object or derision. Interesting. So
I'm
Mason,
not
you could
gonna
just use that word more often.
I'm not going to bring that up in the comments.
I gotta say, there aren't a ton of scenarios where that word is usable.
Hey, that
But I
guy
just
over
like-
there,
I just...
he's a cuckold.
I love the word. I was like, I've never heard
It is
that.
a
It's
fun
great-
sounding word. It's
there's
a
just-
shame that it has such an awful definition.
It sounds like something a Pokemon would say. Cuckold.
That's right.
That'd be great.
Sorry.
Speaking of the main
What is
bar-
that Pokemon's main attack?
Oh, he's
Ground
definitely
attack.
a water. No, he's a
Oh,
water
I was
Pokemon.
going to say he's a ground Pokemon.
Explain.
Well, I think he
I feel-
squirts things.
I just feel like, God damn it, Jordan. Jesus Christ. I just feel like Cuckold would use rock throw.
Oh, those are pretty two good explanations. All right, moving on from Pokemon now.
How expensive is the main bar? Like, those drinks had to be like $15 a drink.
Oh yeah, I mean he got the bill at the end of the night and it was like $1,000. And what for like two dudes worth of drinks plus
Was it
one
$1,000?
woman? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like 900 and something
Oh my God.
for three
That's-
people's one night's worth of drinks.
That's insane. How long did you guys have a Velcro wallet? Because, like, I definitely got rid of my Velcro
Elementary
wallet
school?
at like 12.
Yeah, definitely not
Jordan-
into adulthood. That's for
I did
sure.
not. I don't know about you guys, but my wallet didn't really matter until I was in high school, and I definitely did not have a Velcro wallet at that point.
I've had the same wallet, I'm pretty sure, since high school, and it is not Velcro.
I haven't. I keep on washing mine, putting it in the washing machine. It's a big issue.
What is the worst place? If we had to get engaged to someone, Jake, you actually are engaged.
I am.
Did the El Chorito Mexican Grill chain restaurant ever cross your mind as a possibility of a proposal?
I
Or
can't
is
say that anything even in that realm did, no.
Or is that like the bottom of the barrel of like the saddest proposals of all time?
It's possible. It's down there.
Can you think of a sadder one, Jordan?
I mean, I think live sporting events is like khaki as can be.
Yeah, that's kind of cheesy.
But it's not sad.
Are you sure about that? Because
I'm pretty sure if I saw a proposal at the El Trio Grill, I'd be more depressed than if I saw a proposal at Dodger Stadium.
Okay, I guess you're right. Because you're right. Like, imagine going to Chili's and be like, you know what? I'm going to propose right now.
At least you're trying. At least you're trying to make a spectacle of it.
At a baseball game,
You know?
you're right. At a sport game,
Yeah,
you're right.
it's gonna be filmed.
The only possible way I could see that being like explained is if your first date was at that place.
Yeah, or you guys just have
fell in love
an
at
over
Chili's.
infatuation with sports.
Fell in love at Chili's.
But no, I was like, ooh, a chain Mexican restaurant? That'd be awful. That's like getting proposed to in Chili's. I love Chili's and Outback. If I ever was like dating
Outback is
But
so
you
much
don't wanna-
nicer than Chili's, though.
But you don't
Like,
want to get
come on.
engaged there?
No.
I'm not gonna propose to anyone in fucking Outback or Chili's. I mean, if they put the ring in the blooming onion and they brought it out to her, that'd be pretty
Would
dope.
you take a
But,
girl
like,
on your first date?
That would be
to
pretty
Chili's?
dope. Oh no.
Mason,
but it'd be awful.
I got a question
what?
for you, Mason. Would you take a girl to Outback Steakhouse for your first date?
No, it's like a third date. Come on.
Third date.
First date. The third date is like,
Third date.
hey, this is me. First date, I'm putting on a little bit of a show. Second date, I'm putting on less a show. And by the third date, it was like, this is full Mason. We're going to Outback. I really want an Alice Springs chicken. I'm like, if you can accept Mason at Outback, you can accept me all times.
That's like me at Olive Garden because I think that there's no food I eat like less attractively than pasta. So I can't do Olive Garden until like date 7 or 8 because I don't want them to think that I'm a slob. But
See,
I don't
I don't
know
wanna
how
waste
people
my-
eat pasta without looking like a slob. I just don't.
I don't
get
want
it.
to waste my time.
Slower, probably.
We're gonna get to the point. If you make it to date 3, this is what you're getting. We're going to. I love Outback.
We're eating a
At least
bloomin'
go to
onion.
Outback once. No, I don't. I don't even like the bloomin' onion. I literally like the Alice Spring chicken.
I'm taking
I'm
you
gonna
out
get
to
that.
onions and steak tonight.
But the first date's always something fun because you gotta do something light and breezy. And then I guess we're talking about Valentine's Day, so anyone thinking you gotta do like something that light and breezy. Don't do dinner. Dinner on a first date is terrible unless you have known each other forever. Then you break the first date up because the first dinner date is just awkward because like I'm doing right now, someone just talks. One person just doesn't shut up. And I hate being the person that is the nervous talker and just doesn't shut up talking the whole time. I know that probably surprises everyone that listens to us. But yeah, you gotta do something
You're a
fun.
nervous talker?
Very much so.
Oh,
Totally knew you didn't think of that.
I had no idea.
So,
Yeah, me neither. How much money does Jacob spend on STD tests a month? The dude gets it. The dude bangs a lot. And multiple women at sometimes.
I don't know.
And I was just like, you probably spend a lot of money on STD tests.
Is that covered by
I hope so.
insurance?
I
I
guess
think that's
the dude has-
elective.
The dude does have a sick house. So he probably has some great insurance. So possibly. Just goes to Planned Parenthood all the time, get free STD tests. They just know him by name. Hey, it's Tuesday. Jacob's coming in. Yeah. So, there's a scene in the movie where Jacob says we just gotta all play to our strengths. So, I want to know, what's our greatest strengths as a Keepin It Reel podcast? We can go individually. We can go as a group.
Mason's is math.
Right? What? I don't understand how math came into this, but okay.
Jordan's is clearly comedy.
Jordan's is having loud noises in the background for no apparent reason, such as a washer and or dryer.
It was a washer.
Sorry, your clothes might smell a little bit. I hope you don't forgive me.
You hope he doesn't forgive you?
I hope you forgive me.
How
How do you say our friendship? Like, I feel like people genuinely believe that we like each other. Because we do. Kind of.
Mostly.
Sometimes. Sometimes I hate you guys. But, like, most of the time I like
It's
you.
few and far between.
But, yeah. feel like that's it.
That's a good one. I like it, Mason.
Thanks, man.
Lock it in. That's final answer.
Final answer. We're actual friends. We actually enjoy. We've been friends for almost a decade. Can you guys believe that?
This reminds me of that one time
let's just
we played Deal or No Deal at an arcade for like 2 hours.
Oh,
Let's
man,
lock
that
it
was
in,
a
guys.
blast.
I don't know if there.
4 people trying to play Deal or No Deal. Guess what? It's not often that 4 people agree on what to do in Deal or No Deal.
I think we did pretty good.
No, we
didn't
did pretty good.
I think
thought
we
we
did
got-
pretty good because we were spending like $10 over 2 hours, so none of us gave a shit if we lost or not. We weren't playing for
thought
$1 million.
we were probably
like
really
they do on
loud, knowing
actual
us.
Deal or No Deal. Oh, I'm sure we were. There was probably
I'm
a bunch
pretty
of
sure we got a
12-year-olds playing like sock the
Rock'em Sock'em
Gophers
Robots?
and whatever.
Hey guys, we need to go to an
Whack-A-Mole.
arcade.
That's what I'm trying to think of.
Oh, we need to go to an arcade. Yeah, let's just
arcade.
all. Yeah, there's kind of an issue right now with that.
I know. I'm down south. You guys are up north.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
that'll do
We're legit in 3 different states.
True.
Yeah, it's sad.
And that's not even the biggest obstacle.
But distance makes the heart grow fonder. And it's
that's why we're
Valentine's
all
Day,
friends.
right? Oh my god, this is so lovely.
I just threw up in my mouth. But let's rate this movie. Instant classic. Bought in a bargain bin. Would stream it if it's available. Leave it on if a TV remote dies. Would rather watch paint dry. I'm gonna go first. It's an instant classic. Like easily instant
Easy.
classic.
Yeah, right there with you.
It's beside. I think this and Die Hard have been my 2 favorite movies we've done so far. Like they're actually in my top 5 of my favorite all-time movies.
That's
And
fair.
We've done
Yeah.
it so far.
Same, instant classic, easy, no question. Put it up
Jordan?
Real fast, I want to say Little Things. I thought that movie was crap, and I would much rather watch Paint Dry than watch that again. Second, instant classic, Crazy Stupid Love, instant classic. Don't know how. I don't know what. No one can ever tell me that like this movie isn't good. And if you think that movie's bad, I honestly think there's something wrong with you. Like
there. Yeah, you're right.
you must like seriously. There's
You don't
something
have-
wrong with you.
You don't have a fucking heart. You don't know what love is. But also, Little Things was not good, but it wasn't that bad.
It's because I was
Yeah.
expecting something better, and
Yeah,
had a
I think
big
that was it.
expectation. That's why I
was
really didn't like it. That's why.
It was really disappointing. That being said, the Golden Globes don't matter, but Jared Leto got nominated for a Golden Globe, and I was like, wow, the Golden Globes really don't matter because he was good, but he wasn't Golden Globe nomination good.
What was his category?
But it's just like
Supporting actor.
it's just like the artist winning best picture in 2011 when it should have been Crazy Stupid Love.
I literally left that out. No, it should have been fucking Moneyball. 2011, there are so many better movies than the goddamn fucking artist. And I can go on a rant right now. We have Moneyball. We have Crazy Stupid Love. We have Fast Five, which I'd rather watch. Real Steel is better than the fucking artist.
Was that in 2011?
Yes.
All these were?
All these.
Oh, I would
good
totally
movie
take
here.
Fast Five. I've never seen the artist, but
Drive. Bridesmaids came out in 2011.
oh my god.
Ryan Gosling was not nominated for this movie, and he should have been nominated for this movie. I looked at Best Supporting Actors. I couldn't tell you any of them. Here you go.
Do you know the movies?
Here you go. Best movies. I have it up.
From 2011.
Oh yeah. No, I went and Googled it. I was like, this is absolute abomination. Best picture. The winner. The artist.
Okay, what were the nominees?
I don't know why a movie that didn't fucking speak in 2011 won. I don't care how beautiful it was. We have the
Tell us how
technology
you really
to
feel
talk.
about it.
We have the technology to talk.
It drove me nuts
That's technology?
to record voices, assholes. The Descendants, George Clooney movie. It's okay. Extremely Loud and Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is a terrible movie. I remember watching it in theaters with my family and was like, this movie's stupid. It just had something to do with 9/11. 9/11 is a horrible event. That being said, this is a horrible movie. The Help. Fine.
The Help is good.
Hugo. Never watched it. It's a Martin Scorsese movie. It's probably
either.
decent. Midnight in Paris. Woody Allen movie. I don't know.
Weird.
Haven't seen
Moneyball, the best movie in this category. We will be doing Moneyball. It's a 10-year anniversary. Come in April for a start of baseball. We're doing it then. The Tree of Life. Never even heard of it until I looked this up. War Horse with Steven Spielberg. It's a Steven Spielberg movie. I bet you it's fine. But literally, no one ever talks about Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Crazy Stupid Love could have been nominated.
Yeah, I haven't heard that movie be talked about since the Oscars that year.
Bridesmaids should have been nominated. Bridesmaids is an all-time top comedy. It's just one of the funniest movies of all time.
Laughing your ass off the whole time. Yeah.
Like, I don't care how many times you watch it, you still laugh hysterically. Melissa McCarthy got nominated for a Best Supporting Actress Oscar for how funny she was. This movie deserved a nomination. That one did. Drive was literally better than every movie on this list. Or better than like 4 of the movies on the list.
Okay.
Drive was incredibly artsy, but it was a good movie. We just wasn't our cup of tea. We can agree with that, right? Here you go.
Yeah.
Best.
Sure.
Actors in a supporting role. Christopher Plummer, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Just passed away. He won for The Beginners. Kenneth Branagh in My Week with Marilyn. Never know. Oh yeah, 2011. The Warriors came out. The boxing movie. Your favorite movie of all time, Jordan, or one of your favorite movies. Great movie.
Boxing, but
better than all those movies.
We have to watch that movie sometime. It's a great movie.
The kid from Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close got nominated. Nick Nolte got nominated. Jonah Hill also got nominated. I'd take out the kid. Yeah, I would take out the kid because I watched that movie and he sucked.
Shit.
Actors in a leading role. I guess you could put Steve Carell in this one. Brad Pitt, Moneyball, he's great. Gary Oldman, Tinker Tailor, Soldier Spy. Never heard of it. I heard he's really good in it though. George Clooney in The Descendants. I don't remember it. That's how it tells you the role. I remember Steve Carell in this one. I don't remember George Clooney in The Descendants. A Better Life. I don't even know what that is. Like, don't even know what movie that's from. Don't even know who the actor is. He looks like he's a foreign actor, so I apologize. I can't read and watch movies at the same time. Best Actor. John Duvernay from The Artist. How do you win a fucking Best Actor if you don't even speak?
Mason, art is not just words. It can be the way you move your body to express emotion.
And this has been a Keepin' It Real presentation of the 2011 Oscars. Join us next week for our wrap-up of the 2012 Oscars.
I think I was okay with the 2012 Oscars.
All right, let's move on here.
All right, but we all like this movie. It's a classic. If you guys are listening on Spotify, please subscribe so you guys can know when the next episode comes out. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review, subscribe to us, rate. Be honest. I don't even care if you give us 5 stars. Just give us a review, please. I want a review from someone I don't know because all our reviews are people I know. So
Mason,
please.
Those are our secrets.
I don't care.
Why would you tell them that? That's like insider trading. You just literally fucked over the company.
We all saw what happened with GameStop. If you are listening or
what does
watching
that have to do with it?
I don't know. If you're watching us on,
that's gonna be a good movie, by the way. I can't wait.
If you're watching us on
the short
YouTube,
squeeze coming out in 10 years, the big short squeeze.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications, like the video. Thank you for joining us this week for Keeping It Real. Hope you guys are all had a lovely Valentine's Day and have a wonderful, I think it's President's Day this Monday it comes out. So have a great 3-day weekend. Hope you guys all enjoy. Remember, keep it real.
Keep it
See
real.
you next week.
Peace.
Bye-bye.